In this video I'm going to show you how I made this simple jersey dress which I want to wear in my upcoming Zumba class. The pattern is made from one of my free pattern kits, so this does mean it's highly customizable in terms of sleeves, skirts and neckline options. You can also create the pattern for your very own measurements. So without further ado, let me show you how you can get the pattern. You can either follow the link below the video or you go to dressdeveloper.com, pattern kits, and here you can take a little shortcut. You see down here are the different pattern kits and we will be working with the knit bodice and skirt dress pattern kit. But if you want to load my configuration, which I used for my dress, you can simply enter the configuration code, which is 17170. And then you load the configuration. And here you have all the options selected, ready to go, which is exactly my dress. And I will just walk you through the options real quick. So you see here, bodice form. I choose the version with the bust darts, since I am a bit on the larger bust side, so the bust darts will give me quite a better shape in the front. The fit category is 2, which is pretty snug, but I'm working with a stretchy jersey. If you want to sew this dress, for example, with non so stretchy sweat fabric, I would recommend you go up to, for example, a fit category 4. And the fit category does determine the amount of ease in your pattern. So here you have a list, an overview over the fit categories and the amount of ease each of one will give you. So next, for the skirt, I have selected the half circle skirt. You have several other options here. The length is probably the easiest to change. 50 centimeters is a bit short on me because I'm quite tall. But again, this is a dress for dancing and I don't want to get tangled in the skirt, so I opted for quite a short skirt for this one. And I choose the short sleeves with a medium-high sleeve head, which is a medium snug sleeve head. So this option here determines if you have a wide or a narrow sleeve. And neckline finish, just basic. I went with a round band around the neck. You can choose a V-neck or maybe even a hood. Hoods are cool. And if you want a larger neckline, you can simply change these settings here below. And pockets. Now, I'm usually all in for pockets, but again, this is a dancing dress and I fear if I am just moving around and I have something in my pockets, this will not be good. This will just clash against my legs. So for this specific example, I opted against pockets. You can simply add pockets by choosing this option on the right here. And I will link a video in the cards which will show you how you can add these pockets to your dress. So now you only need to select a size, or you can upload your measure set with your very own measurements. This will go here. I like to add some seam allowance, and if you are choosing the printing option, you can here change the paper format. I will just create the pattern. Takes a little moment, and here we are. So you have here free download options. Now let me show you the middle option first, because this is always a bit underrated. So here you get a PDF, which is actually, let me center this, which is a little cover, and here you see again, yeah, I have added the pockets. That's why the code number here has changed. We have 171 instead of a 170. Ooh, I didn't want it there, so. And here you have a little preview of your pattern. Here you get your measurements and all the options in the pattern kit we've chosen. These are the pattern pieces, and here you have an overview over the printed version, so you know how you need to assemble it. But what I will probably want to do is to use the single pieces option. So with the third link here, you can download the single pattern pieces in a zip file, and this you can upload to the new layout tool and create a printing layout which will tell you how much fabric you need, and you can also download a PDF to feed your projector with, so you don't actually need to print or cut and tape your patterns together. If you prefer the printed version, you can just download the file here in the first link, which is a basic layout, a basic printing version, which you can then print and cut and glue together to create your pattern pieces. So which version you choose is up to you. I will go with the projector option. I really enjoy doing this, but you can simply use the printed version as well. And that's all you need to do to get your sewing pattern. So after cutting out, you should have a front and a back skirt, a back and a front bodice piece, a pair of sleeves, and a nice little neckband. And to start, I want to do some preparing steps. So first, the neckband needs to get sewn into the round. So I'm just folding it here. The right side is facing each other. And I will simply sew this short edge with a simple straight stitch on my sewing machine. And after that, I will fold this thing in half, so that you have basically a circle with the nice right side to the outside. Then, don't mind the sleeves, I need to sew the bust darts. So I have marked the bust point with a pin and the end of the darts with clips into the seam allowance. So I will fold this. Again, the right side is facing to the inside. And the two clips meet each other. And I will shift the pin. So now usually I would sew from the outside to the bust point in a straight stitch. But since this is supposed to be a workout dress, I want this seam to be stretchy. Usually it's not a problem that this seam is not stretchy, but in this case I want to be better safe than sorry. So I will sew this with a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine, which is pretty stretchy. But since it does put a little bit of strain onto the fabric, I want to try this time to sew from the bust point to the outside, to the notches here. So I will not backstitch here. I will simply start and then sew over this, so I can still tie off the ends of a thread in a knot. And then here at the end, in the seam allowance, I can do a backstitch. So this is what I will try for this. Again, the other side, the two notches meet up. I shift the pin. And again, I will sew from the bust point to the outside here with a zigzag stitch. Okay, so let's put the skirt pieces to the side for now. And we will focus on the bodice first. So here's the front. This is the inside of the front. You see here the darts and the volume it gives for the bust. So now the right side is facing up. And I will put down the back piece with the right side facing down. So the right sides of both pieces meet each other. And I will join them at the shoulder seam. Now I will do the construction work with a serger. But if you don't have one, don't worry, you can simply use a zigzag stitch. You just need to make sure that your stitching stays elastic. And I have actually another video up where I sew a t-shirt only with a basic sewing machine. So you might want to check this out. I will link it to the right here. So I will now take this to the serger and simply sew here the shoulder seams. Next step is to install the neckband. So we have here our neck opening, and here's our prepped neckband. So let me quickly mark the front and back center. Like this. So now the right side is facing down, and here I have my neckband, and I have also marked the front and back center. Back is simply where the seam is. And we do have some notches here on the side. And these notches should meet with the shoulder seam. So I will clip this to the inside so that again the right sides are facing each other. And while pinning this, no, this is the front. This should go to the back. So, yes, so the seam goes to the back. Now I should be able to line up the notches, yes. So, while putting this in place, you might notice that the neckband does not really fit. It's a bit smaller than the neck opening, and this is intended. You need to stretch the neckband a little bit so it does fit. This way it can snugly lie around your neck. Usually I always say don't try not to stretch your garment while sewing. Yes, this is true also for knit garments. But in case of this neckband, you should stretch it. Only the neckband, not the neck opening. So I just distribute everything evenly. Always find the center. And then make sure that the rest aligns. And this should be the last clip. Yes. So again, I will take this to the serger, and then I will sew basically from the inside, because you see this opening is not really large enough to stretch around my machine. So I will place it down like this and then sew this edge and keep rotating the opening so everything fits under the pressure foot. And it's already time for the sleeves. So let me open up one of the arm size here. You notice that we have notches in the arm side, a double notch here for the back and a single notch in the front. And we also have a shoulder seam as a marking. And these will guide us while installing the sleeves. So the sleeves are not symmetrical, so you need to find the right one, which is actually the one here. We have a double notch for the back on the right and the single notch for the front on the, no, the double notch on the left. I know, left from right. And the single notch to the right. And this is the right side of the fabric, so we can lay this down here. There's a notch too on the top of the sleeve, and this goes to the shoulder seam. And then I will join up the notches, the double notch and the single notch. And of course also the two beginnings. And what I like to do now is to shake everything up a bit. So we need to line up this part of the sleeve and the arm side. And as you see here, it doesn't seem to line up at all. Like the sleeves is much larger than the arm side. Now you could be tempted in this case to simply pull the arm side to fit. Please don't do this. Trust me, the sleeve will fit without stretching. Because you don't want to line up the outer edges here. You want to line up the stitching line. And the stitching line is a bit to the inside, 1.5 centimeters to the inside in my case, because I have a seam allowance of 1.5 centimeters. So I do simply find the center and divide the rest by finding the center, and if necessary repeat this. And you see, I'm not stretching, I'm simply lining up everything. And this does already look better, right? Let me add a clip here. And we'll do the same for the other side. I think shaking helps a bit. I don't know why. And I find again the center. Doesn't need to be overly precise. So, and when we sew this with a serger, again, don't stretch it. The sleeve does not want to be stretched. So, while sewing, I will face the sleeve, the flat part, down. So this edge is run through the serger. And this top bit, which is bunching up here, gets put out of the way. So I will sew this, put the fabric over, and then sew the rest. Stopping every couple of centimeters and making sure everything lies flat, so we don't create any unwanted gathers, because this should not have gathers in this case. Now I can finish the bodice part of the dress. Let me just check where I am. So I will sew the side seam in one go. So from the sleeve down over the side to the waist. And this way the sleeves get closed and the side gets closed, so we are ready to attach the skirt. And after I have done it, before I attach the skirt, I will hem the sleeves. So I will simply fold 2 centimeters of a sleeve hem to the inside, and then I will sew along this edge with a zigzag stitch, again to keep it stretchy, and then we can assemble the skirt and later attach the two. So of course, the right side of the fabric is to the inside, so it is facing each other. The bust dart gets folded down. And this is our bodice. Can you? Yes, you can see this. So I will simply sew with a serger the 2 outer edges here. I'll leave the sleeve open, of course. And then the sleeve hem will be folded to the inside like this, and then sewn with a zigzag stitch, as I said. last step. So we have our finished skirt and we have our finished bodice. And I will now put these together. So I know that this is the front. So the skirt is inside out. So here the seam which I failed to film, I'm so sorry, but it's just a straight edge. And I will just put the bodice, which is right side out, to the inside. Line up the side seams. And one. And the other. I am alternating the seam allowances here to reduce bulk. So one to the right, one to the left. And should have marked the front and back center, but I think I will manage. So skirt and bodice should line up perfectly. Just divide everything evenly. This is probably the most said sentence on this channel. But it's true. Where do you want to go? So, and quite similar to the neckband, I will simply sew all around with my serger. And then I will give this a very good press with steam in the hope to relax all these stressed out fibers here. This looks a bit wobbly now, but pressing should help with this. And then I will show you the whole thing. we are, the dress is done. I hope everything I showed you was clear. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments and I am glad to help. I hope I will see you soon in my next video. Bye bye!